Hey Gemini, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. For this series of readings, I wanted to do what's the secret that your person's hiding? What is it they're not saying? What is it they're not doing? What is it that you just don't know that you need to know to help you in your current situation? Keep in mind that energies can be reversed. I could get through this reading and you could say to yourself, well, yeah, that's kind of me. That's perfectly fine. Take it as it resonates. Gemini does not have to be your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. It can be any placement you have. And if you don't have a Gemini placement and you're called to this reading, or it happens to just pop up on your feed, Spirit saying there's a message in here for you. So this, might be something that relates to you. All right, so let's get into it. Is that all I need to say? I think so. If I forget, I'll bring it up. So the token that came out for you was the grand piano. You can see that. That landed on solutions. So as we know, grand pianos, they're expensive. They're not cheap to purchase or to upkeep. The token, what that represents is a few different things, right? So one is clearly a fine musician. I'm not taking that in this particular situation. However, you could be. I don't know. You or your person could be a musician. This could be somebody who's very popular, who is on the radio for all I know. I don't know. I'm not, leaning towards that, but I don't rule it out either. It's a person of high caliber and it's social status. When I clarified, the solutions in grand piano, we ended up with racing, which is running and avoiding. So you can see there's the race car. It's like getting in the car and racing away, moving fast. We have interview for talk, conversations, and getting on the same page. And then we have unconditional, so genuine, certain love. Okay. So this looks to me like your person is legitimately avoiding having any kind of conversation with you about getting on the same page when it comes to love, right? Genuine love. Your person's avoiding it. I will tell you, I'm pretty sure you get an idea of this when I get through more of the clarification cards. When I clarified racing, we ended up with finality, which is, differences, divorce, breakup, not looking back. So just something being over, final, divorce, breaking up, just an ending, right? And then decision. So wrong reasons, contemplating, stay or leave, uncertain. Okay. So your person is avoiding a conversation with you and avoiding either a divorce or a breakup or just whatever ending, whatever this person means to you. They're avoiding this ending clearly for the wrong reasons. I'll get into more of the details when I show you more of the clarifications. When I clarified the decision, actually, let me back up. Let me go over to interview. So when I clarified interview, we ended up with lost. So basically running away, emptiness, feeling invisible, cutting off, and the Queen of Swords. So your person feels that if you two are to sit down and have a real conversation and talk things out about your current situation, they realize that, you know, clarity is going to need to come out. Truth is going to need to come out. And if they're pinned in a corner, sitting down, having that conversation with you, the truths are going to come out. You're going to realize this. And then they're worried about you cutting them off and ending this and making, you know, the situation final. When I clarified unconditional, there was a group of cards that came out. So we ended up with lust, so forbidden fruit, non-committal, sexual energy, tragedy. To me, this is the more of the non-committal as how I'm taking this. Mask. So this is pretending, putting up a front, two-faced, not genuine. So let's not forget, on the unconditional card, where they're clearly avoiding getting on the same page and having a conversation with you, it is to talk about genuine, certain love. But when we clarify, we get mask, okay, where it's not genuine, okay? So I think it's clear that your person is wearing a mask. Also, we ended up with obsession, holding on, clinging, can't let go, anxiety, frozen, not speaking, stonewalling, not taking action. So that was the whole group of cards that came out. So basically, your person is not really committal to you, right? They're still keeping a distance from you because clearly, if you are in a relationship with somebody, you should feel comfortable enough to sit down and have a conversation about where you two stand, what's happening, where are you going in this relationship, right? I mean, to me, that would seem normal. If you're avoiding that conversation, then you're avoiding being actually in a commitment, right? So it's like you're there. You have the social status of being with this person, but behind closed doors, you're not really in that particular relationship because there's an avoidance. There's an avoidance to sit down and have a conversation. And so that's what they're doing. They're basically stonewalling and keeping this social status frozen to where you two are still together, but there's not really that true commitment, right? They're not really committed to you because they can't sit down and have an honest conversation with you about how they feel. Is this love genuine? You know, are we here for each other? Do you love me? Do I love you, right? They're not doing that. But at the same time, they're holding on, right? Their obsession is to hold on to this social status. So I wanted to, I know social status and grand pianos are all expensive, but I had to take the extra step and use a different deck. And I wanted to understand, what is this grand piano exactly? I want to know for sure. And what came out was, for sure, finances, money. So it's, a person of caliber, right? It's their social status, right? They don't want to lose the finances that come along with this connection, right? I'm not going to say commitment because clearly your person's avoiding being in a commitment with you because they're not going to sit down and have a talk with you and tell you that they're genuinely in love with you for you. They don't want to have to sit down and make it known that they're only in love with this connection because of the finances, the social status, the expensive grand piano, right? The expensive, luxurious life that comes along with it. But there's not any genuine love there. And we don't want to talk about that. Of course they don't. That's why this is a secret, right? And that's why I'm digging in to help you get clarity if this resonates with you. So I wanted to know more about the decision card, to where it's, the wrong reasons, them staying in this, a connection. I'm just going to call it a connection because it's not really a commitment. Maybe it is something on paper. Maybe you two are connected with assets of some sort. Maybe you accumulated a lot together, even though you're not married. So, again, both of you may run a business together. It could be anything like that. But to find out more about what the wrong reasons were, the Magician came out, the Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, the Emperor, the Fool, and the Four of Wands. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. So the Magician and the Knight of Pentacles. So your person knows that they have all the tools, or they're using all the tools that they have, because that's what the Magician is. The Magician holds, and we all are magicians. It's, do we have the tools and do we know how to use them? Your person knows how to use all the tools, right? It's the wand, the cup, the pentacle, and the sword, okay? So they have everything laid out, and they're using all of that to, hold the power, right? So if they're avoiding having a conversation with you and not talking to you, they're holding power over this connection because they're able to skirt around having that real conversation with you. The reason they're doing this is, we already know finances, but here with the Knight of Pentacles, this is financial growth, right? Slow and steady, financial growth that has either been growing between the two of you, or maybe you have finances that have been growing and they're linked to it. They don't want to let that go, right? That's their social status. So clearly, I would think this is you, because if they're avoiding the conversation with you and not trying to get on the same page because they know clarity and truth will come through this conversation, they're worried about being cut off. So this leads me to believe that you're the one who has all the financial growth, and the person that you're connected to is benefiting from this in some shape, form, fashion, however you want to put that. And so the financials is what's keeping them emotionally happy and stable, right? Money to them is what makes them emotionally feel good, when really that's ass backwards, okay? You should feel happy emotionally yourself, not needing, money or items or another person to make you happy. All of us should be happy in our own right, satisfied within ourselves, our own souls. This person, it's the financials that makes them happy. And oh, by the way, they don't want your dreams to come true. They don't want you to stand in Emperor energy, okay? Because the Emperor can make decisions, and that decision would be to cut this person off because they're not truly being genuine with you. They're not with you because they love you. They're with you because of what you can do for them. And they don't want you to stand in your power, being the Emperor, being able to make that difficult decision on cutting this person off. Right now, they feel they hold the power because they're not talking to you. They're not sitting down with you, right? Their solution is to keep their social status and be that, high caliber person. They want to keep that. So that's, them being the magician, and using all the tools to stand in their power because of the financial growth. With the Fool, that would be you going off and having a new beginning, being the Fool, yet once again stepping off on a new journey, another direction with another person. With the Four of Wands, you being the Fool once again, stepping out on a new journey, with a new opportunity, possibly, more of a new opportunity, but it could be, you finding, your wishes come true, finding somebody who genuinely loves you, you genuinely love them. And this is what your person's trying to do. So by them not talking to you and avoiding this conversation, then they're able to remain as the magician, right? All their tools that they're using in their toolbox are working because they can avoid it. And if they avoid the conversation, then they can avoid the truth coming out. They can avoid, truth and clarity, and the chances of you cutting their ass out. So what I wanted to know was, well, how does Gemini feel about this person, right? Because clearly, if you're wanting to get on the same page and have a conversation and you're not able to get this person to sit down and talk to you, clearly, in my mind, I'm saying to myself, there's no way Gemini doesn't realize that there's something wrong with this picture, right? So I'm like, all right, how does Gemini feel about this person? And you got a nice little stack of cards that came out for this. So you ended up with Strength, the Nine of Swords, the Five of Wands, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the Eight of Cups. So, Gemini, you are trying to basically gain the strength, okay, and courage, because you are not sleeping, you're stressed, you're feeling hopelessness, there's fighting, disagreements, arguments, nitpicking, there's battling, and you're like, I just want to release this, okay? All this negative thinking that's going on in this situation with your person, because to me, this tells me you are actively trying to get a hold of this person to sit down and get this cleared and get it rectified and get some answers. So you're trying to, release the negativity out of this so you can finally, once and for all, make the decision to walk away with the Eight of Cups and be done with this. So you already know this because there's already nitpicking and, conflict, and there's clashing going on. And that's because they're avoiding you, because you're like, hey, can we sit down and can we talk about this? And it's taking you courage to come to this conclusion that you're feeling done. And now you want to have the conversation to end this, and they sense it. They know it. That's why they're being the magician, standing in their power, trying to keep you stuck and from walking away. Well, because we've got greediness. We've got that grand piano, that high caliber person syndrome, right? Social status. I can't go from driving a Mercedes to driving a Volvo. Like, what are you talking about? I can't go, using a Louis Vuitton to a knockoff Louis Vuitton, right? your person's like, I'm not having any of that. Well, that's what's happening here. Let's pull from the Message of Love Oracle deck. Let's see what's in here. Let's see if we can... What other messages do we have for Gemini, please? What other messages, please, for Gemini? Ego. I let my pride get in the way of our connection. You don't say. You don't say. You know, ego of that social status. You know, I'm too good to be knocked down any notches. So I'm going to stay in my ego. I'm going to remain the magician and remain in my power and avoid this. Regret. I wish this never happened. I feel like that's you. Kind of like you're probably in regrets of the fact that there is a lot of fighting, you know, nitpicking, you know, you're not really feeling the love in this. And I feel like, you know, you're feeling regretful that this whole connection went the wrong direction, and that, you know, now you're finding yourself trying to get out of something that you got into, not realizing maybe this person was just all about, you know, social status. Yeah. So soul tie. So this is clearly a soul tie connection that you were supposed to come across in your lifetime. These are the toughest lessons to learn. You know, because we have multiple soulmates that we come across, whether they're friends, romantic partners, colleagues, even family members, that we all learn lessons from. And they're the toughest lessons because you feel that connection to them. You feel a strong connection. Soul ties they're not just your average everyday person. Like, there's times, you know, you can go out with somebody on a date for, you know, a couple of times, and, you know, you both just chalk it up to, it's, you know, you're just not feeling it, and, you know, you two just kind of go on about your ways, and it's not like you're upset or hurt. No, a soul tie is a contract that you've signed before you were born. You were supposed to meet that person because you had karma in a previous lifetime that wasn't cleared up in this lifetime. And oh, guess what? Everything from the past life comes over to this lifetime. And the universe says, okay, are you going to be able to solve this problem now? Are you going to learn your lesson? So this is where you're being put to the test to see, are you going to learn your lesson? Are you going to be able to stand in your power, gain the strength and courage, okay, to walk away and release this? Because you are battling depression, anxiety, not sleeping, fighting. It's miserable. You know, a relationship is not supposed to add stress to your life. A healthy relationship is supposed to be there to comfort you and add, you know, calmness and peacefulness and love into your life. It's not supposed to, add stress. Now, I'm not saying that even with your correct person, there won't be any fights. It wouldn't be like this though, okay? It's supposed to be healthy, fights that, you just have disagreements, right? Everybody has, if we were all the same, how boring would that be? We all have to be different and unique in our own way. And that's what we're attracted to. A lot of times we're attracted to people that are considered to be our opposites because there's something that we're not, and vice versa. We're something they're not. So you're intrigued by each other. If you were the same all the time, that would be boring. So don't get it mixed up when I say healthy fighting and challenges versus just because somebody wants to hold on to you for the wrong reasons. This is a lesson that needs to be learned. Let's see what is in the Sacred Symbols Oracle, and then we will wrap this one up. Yeah, so, soul ties are not easy lessons. They take a while. I was in one on and off for 10 years. And even after that 10 years, there was still, a pull back to that person every now and then until I finally got myself out of it. But that's how long those connections can take. They can take years and years to get out of, because they are a strong connection. And that's because you knew them from a past lifetime and you had issues then. And, it carried over. The problems weren't solved. You weren't able to get away from each other and remain away from each other and, finality, right? You weren't able to have that final ending in a past life. So here it comes into this one, because if you don't end it, you're signing that contract before you're born and saying, okay, well, you're going to deal with this again. Did you learn it this lifetime? So, and I'm not saying it's easy to get out of these connections. It's not. Like I said, I was in one for a good solid 10 years. It was horrible. I should have been out of it much sooner. New life. Number 4, the Ankh. New life. Let me read this to you real quick. The arrival of new beginnings or the budding start of something beautiful and long-lasting. Drawing this card can indicate a need or desire to start over with a sense of childlike wonder. Where's the Fool? Starting over on a new journey, being the Fool yet once again, stepping out of this and then taking a new journey. That's why your person's in the Magician, holding their power over you. Sorry, I had to go back to that so you understood. Where was I? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. What you are beginning will have a strong impact and far reach. Drawing this card indicate a positive relationship and or experience. So you can step out the front door yet once again and be the Fool to find genuine love, not with somebody who is not genuine and with you for the wrong reasons. So you have the possibility of standing in your power, making the decision, being the Emperor, whether you're masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. We all embody masculine and feminine energy. The Emperor is, more of the, leadership, their stability, they have structure, rules and power, they have authority, they can be a father figure, focus, protection, control, discipline, and they're practical, right? So you being practical, making that tough decision to end this, to step out and be the fool, take that fool's journey away from this, starting new for a new opportunity for your new life, right? Now that you've learned this lesson, if you learn this, now you can begin a new life starting fresh after learning this lesson. So, Gemini, I hope this was helpful for you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Much love and light, and I will talk to you soon.